Hey there, folks, and welcome back to Airgun. Holy cow, I'm losing my voice. Me, 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 me. Holy cow. Oh, well, you're just gonna have to deal with my voice for this episode because I have an ear infection, a sinus infection. I've been dealing with it for about a month. So my voice is gonna be real low and sexy like. But hopefully we can make it through this episode. Oh boy. All right, let's do some shooting. You don't have to talk for that. Hey there, folks, and welcome back to another episode of Airgun Reporter. My name is Paul Capello. For today's episode, we're going to check out the Benjamin Bulldog. This is a .357 caliber side lever action bullpup that a lot of folks out there are talking about. Let me go ahead and get some trigger time with the Bulldog. Meanwhile, check out some specs and details. We'll come back, we'll do all the testing. Oh yeah, so far so good. All right, folks, let's go ahead and do the chrony testing with the Benjamin Bulldog. I'm going to be using the 127 grain Air Venturi flat nose slugs for my test. Let's see how it performs. All right, let's load 5 more up for a 10-shot string. You want that stick? You want that stick? You want it? You want it? Sit. Stay. Go get it. All right, let me go ahead and tell you about the optics I'll be using on the Benjamin Bulldog today. I have a scope mounted on here from a company called Airgun. They are a Chinese manufacturer, and a lot of people are talking about these scopes. It seems that they come at a price point that a lot of people can afford when mounting optics on new or existing air guns. So far, I think it's a ruggedly built scope. The side focus is definitely a plus. The turret knobs are nice and solid. There's very little play in them. I have the optional sunshade, and you can also get a side wheel for the side wheel focus mechanism. So far, I think the glass is right up there with some of the more expensive scopes, but the proof is in the pudding. Let's go ahead and do some accuracy testing. Okay, let's go ahead and do some accuracy testing with the Benjamin Bulldog. I'll be using 2 different types of bullets today. I have the 127 grain Air Venturi flat-nosed bullets, and I have these Ballistic Tip Extremes by Nosler. Now, our first distance will be 35 yards. I'll use the Air Venturi slugs for that. Then let's push it to 50 yards with the same slug, and then 75 yards with the Noslers. I'm running low on shoot and see targets, so I'll be using these small 3-inch targets today. Quite a challenge, but we'll see how we do. All right, let me load up the magazine and shoot our first group. All right, not too shabby at 35 yards. Let me go ahead and sight in at 50 and see how we do. I'll find my cheek weld here. Now, if you have a long beard, your hairs might get caught in the magazine as you cycle it. All right, here goes nothing. Man, that 50-yard group is not looking too shabby. Let me go ahead and make that a 10-shot group and load up another 5 in the magazine. These Nosler bullets are a bit pricey. They're about 80, 85 cents a shot. But if they're accurate in your Benjamin Bulldog, and you're just using them for hunting and they're going to be the only slugs you use, why not? It's worth 80 cents to put meat on the table. I think it's a pretty fair trade, but they're definitely not for practicing. That's for sure. A little bit too pricey. We are back up to 2,900 PSI. 75 yards. Wow. Okay, I'm impressed. These Noslers are doing pretty good in the Benjamin Bulldog. Again, they're a bit pricey, but they're doing really good at 75 yards. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the trigger testing, then the sound testing, and we'll wrap up the show. All right, folks, let's go ahead and test the trigger on the Benjamin Bulldog. Since this is a compact bullpup design, there is a linkage that goes from the trigger all the way back to the breech. It is a two-stage design. It is non-adjustable. It says on the specs that the first stage is about 2 pounds, the second stage is about 3 pounds, but let's go ahead and use my trusty Lyman trigger gauge and we'll find out for ourselves. All right, let's see what we get. Make sure to take it off safe. I'm pointed safely down range. Let's do our first pull. .4 pounds for the first one. Let's do 4 more. And 1 more. Okay, let's find out our average. The average, 3 pounds, 3.8 ounces, just like the specs. Folks, I'm very lucky to have a lot of space here in the backyard. I can shoot safely out to 100 yards, and I live in Western New York State, which is hunting, fishing, and shooting friendly. It's a way of life up here. Some of you folks aren't so lucky, and you'll be wondering if you can shoot the Benjamin Bulldog in smaller backyards. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, it does have some sound suppression technology inside of it, but it's not a quiet air gun. This is a powerful hunting gun. You're going to need a safe backstop. You're going to need to know what's behind your target at all times. What I'm going to do is load up some pellets. We're going to do the sound testing and give you folks the results. I have my sound meter set up about 2 feet from the muzzle. Let's see what the results are. One thing that's great about this Air Venturi carbon fiber tank and the valve setup it comes with is that it's regulated to 2,900 PSI. There's no chance I can overfill the Benjamin Bulldog. It's great. I just hook up the hose, tighten the bleeder valve, then open up the main valve, let it fill, turn the valve closed, bleed it, and I'm ready to go. It's great for beginners. If you're worried about overfilling your gun, it won't happen with this Air Venturi valve setup. Okay, as usual, I have pellets loaded in my magazine because that makes the report sound different. Let's go ahead and shoot until we get the loudest reading. Folks, I have to say, when I first saw the Benjamin Bulldog, I wasn't quite sure what to make of it. I didn't know if I was going to like it or not. But having shot a few hundred rounds through it in the last couple of days, I have to say this thing is a shooter. If it was Crosman's goal to create a compact, powerful .357 caliber bullpup that's easy to use, easy to load, easy to cock, I think they've succeeded. This thing is a real shooter and is weather resistant. You don't have to worry about taking this thing in the field and knocking it around. There's no fancy wood on it to damage. You're not going to cry over something like that. This thing is meant to be taken out and hunted. It's got accuracy out to 35, 50, and 75 yards, at least for me it does. There's lots of options for slugs. Those nozzlers are a little bit expensive, but if those are the only ones you're going to use for hunting, hey, why not? It's about 80 cents a pop, but there are other options from Air Venturi, like those 127 grain flat-nosed pellets that I used. They worked great. There's others out there. There's JSBs, there's H&Ns, and it's up to you to find the one that works best for your Benjamin Bulldog. I think this thing has a lot going for it. I think Crosman really hit it out of the park with this one. I can't think of anything I don't like about it except, well, the pistol grip is a little bit small for my hands. I have big hands, and it would have been nice to have a weaver rail on both sides of the shroud just for mounting accessories. It does have one on the bottom. I did put a bipod on it. That comes in handy if you're out in the field and you like to hunker down and hunt that way. Other than that, I can't really think of anything I don't like about it or would want to change about it. I know some folks out there are going to say it's a little bit loud, but this is a hunting rifle. When you're hunting with it, you're going to be where it's safe. You're going to be where people aren't going to care if they hear the report of a Benjamin Bulldog. And if you're planning on shooting in your backyard, forget about it, unless you have neighbors like mine who are gun enthusiasts. But other than that, I think it's a great rifle. I think it's perfect for anyone who's getting into their first big bore air rifle. Again, it's very easy to use, and I think you'll be pleased by the Benjamin Bulldog. For Airgun Reporter, my name is Paul Capello. Until next time, shoot safe and have fun. And eat lots of throat lozenges if you have a sinus infection and your voice sounds like crap. Oh boy. All right, let's shoot some more.